here, which is the hard ban of Virtus.pro. Been a long time since they played that. We'll touch on it more in the second map when we get there. But even Clubhouse, I mean, VP's only like a 2-2, 50% win rate record on this particular map. W7M, a lot of time with the shield in his face. Minutes ago, Deathmark goes out. Loben on to Dan. The opening kill though for Joystick, but Dots and Dash find two at the exact same moment, and within the span of about 5 seconds, we lose quite a lot of players within the server, and it's all going the way of W7M on the attack. VP's defense just gets absolutely shredded, and the only one left is always on. That Clash tries to go for the little 180 flick. Strong. Volts needs to be aggressive here on the Montaigne.
Behind him though, the pinch is coming through. It's going to be pressure over the shoulder. There's Dash and Volps able to break their way into the site itself, but he's quickly traded out by Joystick, and Pasha kills himself in the chaos. Disaster is struck, so now Always and Joystick have to try and bite their way through to the planter, but the cover is so good. W7M.
He's got enough firepower to disrupt it. Only the one Nitrocell on Joystick. That's going to be a big factor. One of the ROUs has gone up right now. Here's the push in towards Garage, but up close and without realizing it was Always. Does go for the run out though, looking to compound more onto that kill. Ended up losing his life anyway. In towards the site. Volps will go down. VP have actually been able to do a decent job in finding these kills at the moment. I
mean, it's not impossible, but Loben would need a fair few gifts here from Virtus.pro, and it doesn't feel like they're in a very, let's say, charitable mood with their lives. They're happy to let this one play out, and we find ourselves 2-1.
Yeah. And most importantly for W7M, it's not as if they get a little bit blood hungry. Yeah, you got 2 kills, but we still got a checklist to go through, get the fundamentals down pat. They do that. Shepard knows he has to get aggressive now towards CCTV. Does swing, gets one. Had he got that kill out onto the balcony exterior of Con, it would have made it a 2 versus 2. Pasha caught, top lodge the hatch. That is a wonderful one-tap headshot from Pasha. Changes the complexion of this round now with 40 seconds left from what looked like a potential comfortable round for W7M. It has completely fallen apart. Shepard and Pasha on the site have been able to manage this round perfectly. 30 seconds left, and Dash brings it back to a 1 versus 1 as Shepard lies waiting Con and makes the push into Logistic. Dash has to stick to plant, and Shepard will have to play off of this noise.
Rotating his way around towards the fire, but it's going to get stuck, so he might just move into it. Pre-fires Jim, thinking he's on the other side, and the flashes will come out. The power has now entirely flipped into Dash's side, but he's stuck in the middle of the fight, and the pings are on their side. Pulls himself back round. He knows he needs to be a bit aggressive here. He needs to force and hope that his first tracer is the one that makes the connection, as Shepard goes in deep, gets the drop. Unbelievable play and hold on to there for the 2 VP players that really stuck it out. I said they had some options of delay, and we saw them work as best as... It seems like this is one of the slower approaches, but there's actually pressure being put against them. And is it going to be shut down? No, around the side of the bar. Dan pops his head up, gets Dodes, and is able to almost escape.
God, no way.
Oh, that is a gift, and he is not wasted.
You can see the hesitation for W7M. They know they don't really have a lot of prep done towards the site. They've already found themselves 2 players down. It's going to take something quite miraculous.
Oh, a team kill.
And the team kill's not going to help. Nice kill on to Dan, but Loben got more than he bargained for. Kit down over towards Generator. Dash now with a slow push through dirt. Not a lot of time remaining. Maybe good for 1 here, and it's a bit of a stat pad ending for W7M because they're not really going to be able to win this round. Shepard and Always are the ones stat padding at the end with the double.
Shepard can get that connection. They drop the shield, well, and that's the kit isolated as it was before. And, well, there's the next smoke thrown out. They'd already moved off, but there is the cover of the Blackbeard. We said the power of the player, and still have 1 more smoke. 30 seconds, a C4 in a single moment could be the meaning that they've got to push and break.
Yeah, but Shepard's inside a Con, so I don't know if that Nitrocell is going to be able to get over to stop the plant. That's the final gas babe thrown out from Pasha. No more, 20 seconds, and Shepard goes for a rotate. Has anyone got the watch? I don't think so, so he might be able to get into a position where that Nitro could still have an impact. Drop from Pasha, trying to clear out the player below in Loben, and does so successfully. Shepard goes for the vault over. He actually might make his way in towards CCTV. There is that Nitrocell, but the plan has gone down successfully. Joystick with a double kill, and only Dash is left now in a 1 versus 2.
Dash is so far away. He's got to try and get himself up there as quick as he can, and he just makes it and finds the kill. 1 more. A 1 versus 1 with 29 seconds. Shepard scratched Dash. He suffered a bit as well. Neither of them really have the cost of utility, but there is so much pressure here on Shepard because Oh, is that within range? He's got to bait the play. He's got to bait the player. And, I mean, Dash is playing this perfectly. He's sending himself out, and he sees it. Does he make it in time? I'm holding my breath.
0.7.
Trapped and encircled, always is checking corners where the Jackal died. They're having to again face check them because of the first loss. Always takes a shoulder of damage. They know where the player is, but confirming the fight. But someone's coming up behind him as well. There's Volps, who set himself up on the main stairs, holding the pressure. Look at how W7M are moving and manipulating the space. They're still refusing to give it up because there's 30 seconds left. At this point, even just now hunting down Lobin becomes, well, we don't have time. We have to hit the site. Where do we go at this point? Pasha's above Moto Hatch. There might be some presence inside Dirt. Volps finds Pasha, so now they only have Dirt presence. They're just gonna have to send themselves through a single door.
Gave up too much map control, too much spacing. Good retake from Lobin. This round's done as Shepard is the solo coming out of Dirt. He eventually loses his life.
Maybe that isn't the best example of how we start, but can they try and rebuild? It's even tougher now. Dash catches out Joystick, who is on the rappel.
Well, W7M are just doing a better job at the moment in the early portion of the rounds. In the last, 5 rounds that we've played, they've got 4 of the opening kills. So that's becoming a bit of a trend that's going against VP after they were the ones that started in that particular area of the game better in the first 2 to 3 rounds. So W7M have been able to get that grasp, and doing so now onto the defense again, it makes these rounds rather conventional from here on out. It's 5v3, there's 3 for VirtusPro. All have to basically play utterly perfect and always not being able to win that battle, and we're on the verge of almost a flawless. Indeed, we do get there, and deservedly so. W7M.
It's not CC. They've still got to clear their way across the site itself. At this point, will this full dedication be something that's punished? There goes his escape route. Volps is gone. The compliments paid are shut down, but as he gets Joystick, he's at least been able to trade 1 into the position and a lot of utility. So, is that the trade that they want? What's the win condition of this position? Well, they hope he's been paid onto it. There's Lobin, though. Gets Pasha. He'd get that full bite because nobody is sure that the motion isn't the one that's going to have the coverage. Escaping the flashes right back towards the bed, but it's 2. Dots and Dash are able to put themselves on it, with Dots getting the final one. W7M.
I mean, just perfect. Shot above, a chance, courtesy of the Inox scanner from the Jackal of Joystick, and Lobin does go down, finished off by Dan. He'll happily claim that. A lot of pressure that can certainly be applied by the Deimos and the Jackal, and the ability to track a lot of the members of W7M. Dotus is going to get death marked and actually just lost half of his health, pushing him behind the generator. 60 seconds left. VirtusPro certainly with the best opportunity they've had in the half to find an attacking round.
Do they know about Dash? That's going to be the fun game that we'll get to play from home right now, as it doesn't seem like they do. They're full setting up and sending themselves on towards the break. There is maybe a player watching Joystick, but Dan is caught even with the cover, and now what do? Because Dash is up there up top. There's 30 seconds. You have the track, but he's happy to sit at the top of red and sort of say, yeah, come and get me.
If Joystick does stay there, then it's a 3v3 on site. So I think you're better off just leaving Dash at this point. Top floor, push in, have a 4-on-3 on site, and get chaotic here for VirtusPro, because there's only 20 seconds left. I mean, they need to make the push.
Well, the push is starting to come, and behind Joystick, turn around. He didn't. Dash is able to pick up the kill now, and it's the 3 versus 4, 2 versus 4, all of them on site itself. W7M, they just shut it down. VirtusPro, too much to do, not enough time, and they'll find themselves staring down match point. Now, Volps is actually aggressively trying to make friends outside of a breach with a slug shotgun. Nobody has decided they want to respond. Instead, actually, it's Lobin with a double. Swings his way in from construction, right to top red, pulls off a 2K, and suddenly this round has entirely flipped itself in. Volps stacked up, staring at VirtusPro players who just have nothing but open space in front of them.
And they've done this as well without Dash. He was in gym for the last 30 seconds, only just now makes his way back in towards construction. Dode's still low over towards Rafters, but the peak is successful. Quick headshot onto Joystick, sitting under a bundle of nades though. Pasha converts the kill, giving themselves still just enough time if they can force the issue. Volps goes for the peak. Pasha's ready for it though. Takes his head clean off. and makes it a 2 versus 2. Shot through the drone hole, little tag onto Loben, but they've got to now collect that kit and send it into sight and make no errors. They must be clean in the last 15 seconds.
But in the pocket of Loben, maybe the end of the round sits a C4 ripped and ready. They've got to be aware of it. If they go for the default plant spot, they could play it from over the shoulder or underneath. They're currently pushing deeper and deeper.
Pasha,
he's going and changing place, but Loben's underneath. There it is. And as I said it has come true, unfortunately, for VirtusPro.
Of this map, for VirtusPro since that moment. In fact, they just banned it out. I am surprised they've let this through, and I understand what Fox...
Against Deimos that's just sitting, waiting, ready. The hard breach wall towards the top of the house stairs is still stood. Volps, however, is not, and that is the Nomad gone. They better hope the air jabs are in place because they're inside the site anyway, so anything that comes back is in towards the pressure. There's the flood all the way across. VP have to try and execute their way back from Drum, but Dots has the cover. A 2 versus 3 now. Pasha and Dan taken entirely surprised, had to try and peel themselves back from the Samurai side towards where the site is. A great read on a gap in the hold, a bit bloodier than they maybe wanted, but swinging the glass isn't quite able to net themselves the result. Up down the stairs, and it's just towards the end of it, traded out. Technically a 1 versus 1. Gonna throw the goo mine down. If Pasha can get out, they'll...
For Pasha, Loben has to be wary of this. He should know full well that there are 2 players, and he should have spotted him. Prone, close right. Lovely tap with the Vendetta. Keeps it up against Dan, takes the fight, but he ended up shooting the drum. 30 seconds still time. If he wants to go back for the diffuser, he can.
Reload, retracked, replayed, no kit, but he does not want that right now. He wants to fight. He's able to find it on the other side of the dragon statue. It's a solid for either of them. There's a big chunk of health taken out of each other. Who will be the one to get that final scrape, that final bite? 10 seconds, has to push the fight. No other option at this, and it's Dan! Clutches out that round for V. The 2 stair sets, here it is. The start of that pressure, a Flores drone that wants to remove the shield. Hopefully, this will be Loben that catches it, but Volps is actually the one that gets Dan, always gets Dodes, and Joystick's able to find 2 in the mix of it. Goes to the pistol, drops himself down, and Loben goes down in a frost mat as he hops into...
They've really played into a pretty default defense of Exhibition and Office, where you just go for the horizontal across. Dots does get one. To be fair, Joystick very low. Still a lot of time. Loben's probably the issue. I mean, Dots doesn't really have the biggest ult right now.
Oh.
Get anything? No, they both fall at the exact same moment, and it
slip their way in. It's the verticality above the site itself. Now, will they try and overstay their welcome? The track is going to pull one player as Dash pulls Joystick, removes them, and at this point, they're just getting out of there quickly down the black stairs. Not going to see what happens after the end of those flashes because, well, with a minute, you're not going to try and find the trade situation.
What? How was that just transpired? Poor Volps cops one in the back of the head from a teammate. He always wanted to get on the move with the shotgun. There was one up close. Shepard losing his life. There's Dodes and Dots. Both able to combine. Only one left for Virtus.pro, Dan. Well, he is the man. He was in Montreal, especially on Cafe, where he was exciting. So many clutch plays from Dan on that map. And he will need to do something similar now in this 3rd round if VP to find a 3rd round. A 1v3, but he is also getting tracked by the Inox scanner of Dodes. Safely into Barbecue goes Dots to get the diffuser on the ground, and Dash is always just covering nicely.
Control over towards the players that are wanting to rotate from the bar side. There's Shepard getting Volp, so it's not going to be the swinger towards the side as Dan and Loben does pop in towards Shepard and gets one, but now he is all that is left. They went for plan A that I listed, which is a quick punch in towards the site and on towards the window on the back of the Bees, but... Oh, well, there's one, but nothing much more than then. 3-1.
Respecting Virtus.pro and their extension defensively. Although Dan just finds a kill onto Loben outside the window from Dragon, and so that's a good start to the round again for Virtus.pro. 2 rounds in a row now that they've got those opening kills. They're doing well in the conversions. This is a bit sloppy and a bit messy right now on the attack from W7M. This might be one of the worst rounds we've seen from them in the series. VP are punishing W7M's sloppiness. They are getting shredded here in the 5th round. Joystick as well with 3. And only Dodes left. It will be a 4-1 lead for Virtus.pro. Errors, just the way that his movement through the doorway was just awful. Gets killed comfortably. VP are good enough, very good enough, that they will punish errors and mistakes just as much as W7M will do. 4-1 lead for Virtus.pro. W7M are just a little slower in their approach, but they're going to pick up that pace. Again, it's around that minute 20, minute 30. This is when W7M want to get going, so there's a lot of time left on the clock to reevaluate after this aggression. They find the kills, though, in quick succession, and this is all too comfortable and easy. Right now for W7M, as always, does get one back. Needs another one quickly. He does find it. Low on health, eventually taken down. He took a couple with him, but unfortunately still 3 up for W7M. Only Shepard remains for Virtus.pro, and it seems as if the tertiary site, once again, is going to go the way of the attacking team unless Shepard pulls off a huge 1v3.
I mean, it's another 1v3 in this position as well. Obviously, it's how the last one came down. They're about to cut him in half from his left shoulder. Or they don't know, but there's a second in that position. He does down dots. Now they know where he is. They're circling around either side. He's going to pop up, but he can't quite find the single engagement.
They'll go for jump outs, they'll go for run outs, they'll be aggressive, they will push positions like Drum, and Dodas gets the first kill. And hey, the beauty of the dog, the stim pistol to back to full health. Points, and if W7M want, there's enough time in the round now, or not enough time in the round, they can easily push back to site.
He knows he's there, they're around each other, they were 4 feet away, and Pasha pops the kill because all the attention was being driven underneath. Dan darted his way across, but 20 seconds and it's gonna have to turn into this final sprint. They're putting the pressure on and Lobin knocks them out. Wasn't the man with the kit, so it's not the biggest end of the world, but here comes the charge and the play. Shepard, he's droning the gunners in at this point. He needs to make his way in towards Terrace, but he is alone with the kit and he's got a player on the mini bar. Dan gets the control of the back end player on the A site, but it's 2 fights, too close, too much of a charge. There's the drop. He just has to sit and wait for the mini bar.
Wow, well played from Lobin. I mean, under a lot of pressure there. He was karaoke. They've just dropped it and juggled over the kit towards Always. Now, still on the exterior. Still needs to make his way into the building. And they lose Pasha, taking the fight, but they still don't have that diffuser in a good position. Always is just making his way into the building now. Push up Black Stairs. Unsuccessful for Dots, though. 3 from Dan, and he's making good use of the Blackbeard. Finally, Always now towards Black Stairs. Can make his way into the site. It's a quad, though, from Dan. Shepard to finish it all off, and Virtus.pro from out of nowhere steal this round. Looking like he's going to go and maybe come back to VIP. No, he's just going up onto the roof. So, I mean, I don't know really what VP want to do right now, but they do have to down onto Dots. That is significant. That has also been finished off by Dan. No gas babes for the final 40 seconds. And just like that, despite a little bit of a stall out, we are seeing VP now make their way towards the site. RU goes up from joystick. Dan has gone and got himself the diffuser, and they're going to go for the hit.
I mean, he's still got a bit of a distance to run. By the time he gets there, he's maybe just going to have time to get this attempted once. Back up the stairs themselves. Obviously, the gadget you can turn on and off, and they've left Pasha and Joystick keeping an overwatch so they know the position's clear, and there's the room for the hop-in, but it's sprayed across. Now he's in the room. He's got the shield on his back. It's traded back and forth. Dash is about to be caught by Always, and there it is, sneaking their way up the stairs itself, but it's a post-plant situation. Joystick takes a lot of damage, but Dan is out of there with the shield, and there goes the trade again. Dan! I think he's got 7 kills. Here, and he's about to find a close fight, but there is support on the swing, on Shrine. The first is actually taking him. He was scrappier than I think either of them wanted. Dodes does suffer, but most importantly, Dan is dead. Dan can die. Joystick gets the end. Dodes trades it out, but I'm pretty sure they'd be much happier having Dan.
It's a win for W7M.
But also, look at W7M's kill. Dodes, he's 11-6. He was the one that's sort of putting in the same sort of numbers since the rehost as Dan.
Yeah, but from a utility perspective, the operator perspective, I would rather trade the Aruni for the Blackbeard.
Oh, yeah.
And also, Dan is just, well, the man, so...
Dan is the man. 40 seconds, though.
3 nitros, 2 impacts. I mean, a lot of utility for W7M, and as you mentioned, not a lot of time.
No, barely any. They've still got to try and find their way through what looks like a gauntlet. He's actually not going to try and iron mode it. The shotgun pops into the head of one, looks for the transfer onto the second. They're sort of stuck now. They're going to burn through the flash canisters. Will he try and make the dive past it as Joystick creeps his way up? Do they know about the Nook? They're about to find out. They're ready, watching and waiting. He's going to go for the swing. Can he get the first? He sees the side of it. There goes the second on the round. The pressure on towards Terrace. Holding off with a revolver. Dash. He wants to go for the swing as Volps gets some support. Big bits of damage. But with the grenades, where can he go? The afterlife. And map 3. Virtus.pro. What a clean... It's almost the perfect barometer for this map, actually, because it was played by W7M against OXG the other day, and, well, it was won out by W7M. On the flip side of it, it would have been the decider in the VP. As of yet, Dodes was keeping a keen eye over the walkway, but always is able to slip himself away. He was obviously the top-rated player before, but Dan, with another kill to an already impressive tally after the last map, is looking to see if he can scream up the rankings himself.
Yeah, +3 on the entry throughout the series now for Dan with that kill, so he's been super impactful, and there's a second one too. He has been...
That's 3!
Oh my goodness. But Dan, you've got to stop. It's only round 1. You've got an entire map still to get some kills. 3 on the board for Dan. And this round's done already. I mean, what a strong defensive start for Virtus.pro here on border to be able to just clean sweep W7M's attack before it even really got going. They never really even got into that position where they could really formulate the attack that they wanted to. Virtus.pro just on the get-go. And yeah, finish it off with the ace, says Joystick, and that is a wonderful
round and formulated.
They're offside completely right now for Virtus.pro because they're expecting W7M to want to rush in so they can cover off all of those angles into the site. They've got so much lobby pressure. Shepard as well towards supply. No nitro cells remaining though.
They're in. They're planting. They took the hatch drop and now they're operating. Joystick inside the bathroom and rotate round to the top. There's a trade out, but it's a post plant. Shepard, he's fighting his way in towards Vent. He's holding either side of Dots, who's going to be surrounded, but there's cover from Dodes, and Dan gets Dodes. It is just Dots left who gets himself into the 1 versus 1. Dan drops. He's looking for the engagement, but Dots secure armory position. He can try and cut himself back, but always is the one that cuts him out as Dan gets
shotgun up close. He's always just going to be able to find a quick kill. He does it again. 2 found in the same round from the same position. W7M not learning from their mistake prior in this round, only mere seconds ago. 3 kills for Always. And it seems as if on the verge of a second round being found now for Virtus.pro. Don't tell me it's going to happen again.
He really wants it to, but it's Shepard that finds the back.
He's probably going to bolt it at this point because it's 5v1.
Why not? He actually threw the C4, but he was too far away. Dan does get the end of it. I love that. Make something happen, and it's Dan under pressure, but underneath.
Yeah.
There's a bit of danger there from the Nook.
More importantly, though, it's W7M with, 3-4 bodies all around the same area of the map, so they're playing more like a team, and then you can allow Loban on the Nook to go for that lurk, go for that roam, and he's found 2 on it as well. A successfully well-set play from W7M in this round as Dots also gets involved. Dan is very low inside of Fountain, so the trade was always going to happen as Joystick now by himself in a 1v4. A far better round from W7 on the attack. They had a set plan, a set play, and they've executed it perfectly. As
a bit of a reverse plant as the bees come out, the coverage of the smoke, Dots is in. The shield's on his back and he's going to try and stick a plant. They're going fast and Shepard does get 1, but this should be a confirmed post plant right underneath the window, which is going to be so tough to retake. They move their way across and keep a body balance, but it's traded back and forth inside of 4 versus 2, but Always is caught out deep on the run and the rotate to get 1 kill. But as I said, it's so awkward. They're going to have to try and play themselves up. The bees will give some of the game away. The castle on the window! Keep it in your pocket. They've got to rotate their way round and punch it. But at this point, Xenox, it's just hold on. Keep your nerve and keep the round.
Castle Barricade just won you the round.
Last time, they've got themselves more in chance at the aggression. They're not gone back to the Nook. Sort of worked well once, but they don't really want to double down on trying
it. Pretty early into the round. That's better for W7M. And kind of going back to what you were talking about, whether this ends up being a bit back and forth. Border 56% defensive win rate of the tournament so far. Nice kill from Dots onto Always. Gets rid of the mute. And even though W7M's defense on this map isn't necessarily that great, I think 3-3-1/2 is going to be fine for both teams and really sets us up for hopefully a standstill finish for this series. But this is an absolute slaughter in the 6th round. W7M, they just look pissed off. They looked like they were so mad with the way that last round played out.
Positions on towards the door of Passport here. Get in underneath, get the angle up. Volps has the crossfire, and Virtus.pro, all of them pretty much, are trying to force this problem, but it's not a problem that can be solved. Even amongst the bees, Volps got a Star player of that play. What are you going to try and get your drive through? Always. The initial top-rated player is able to find one underneath, but underneath what? He's inside the site. The rest of the players are above him, and he's going to see if he can make an opportunity. This is when the Solace should show up and do something, but nobody is close. We're suddenly in a post-plant situation, and at this point, W7M, they still have the man advantage. They can try and clear it. They have lots of time. It doesn't feel like it, but now with one more body gone, well, it feels pretty good. Will they be able to hold on to this? Will there be a response here? There's the shot through. Huge play there from Pasha, who gets himself out, concerned about the damage above, but Shepard has suddenly won vertical control. They're above it. They're around it. They've got to try and lock down Pasha, who's doing his best to find a fight, but he buys time. But a 1 versus 2. The vertical control is in their power. One of them's holding on to it. One of them's going for the coverage. They're spraying through. He just has to wait another 4 seconds. He can't find the angle. He's missing the player. He could not get the threaded needle. The first 2 bodies gone. Last timer, once again, trying to surmount the problem that is East, but it's Pasha. Actually, that gets caught by Dash, traded back, at least in body count, and as always, finding dots suddenly. That has flipped over, and there's not a kill over the gap next, so instead, they're just going to pull themselves back out. Lobin, and at some point, doubt it though, I'd be surprised. Can't quite throw that, but you might be able to throw a fight. Shepard does. Caught out by Dash on the window he's been hopping in and out of, and suddenly it's an even man count. And, well, they have 47 seconds, and always is on a crouch walk towards the back end of the site. But at this point, you're thinking, well, why don't you try and just eke in a bit of coverage here? Dodas gets joystick as well. A 4-2 balance now is just the 2 very separated Virtus.pro players. They've pieced themselves back in here. Punch a small hole and an angle, but you have to give credit to the coverage because there's another Dash with a triple, and
they know he's top metal now. The barbed wire gives away the position. You can see Dodes inside a fountain just immediately turns his attention. The pressure just comes towards him straight away, and Dodes will finish him off. And W7M clinical when they were certainly bringing numbers over to help. Bobs, of course, can drop if he really feels the pressure, but I think he wanted to stay to help Dodes, but by staying, he loses his life. Opening kill goes away. Pasha, who then gets the second. Dodes went for the swing. And that's a lovely double, and Dan to triple it down for Virtus.pro in terms of their advantage. It's been a couple of rounds of quietness from Virtus.pro, but they are noisy in this one. Flawless. Great response. Floor with 40 seconds remaining. If Dan pushes in towards the site, there's no vert hold at all from the attacker, and Lobin gets rid of Shepard, one of the only members that was actually looking to contest up above. This is not going to be an easy round for Virtus.pro. 4v4, you haven't got top floor control. How are you going to plan into site safely? He finds a spot into workshop. So far, no response from W7M, despite the fact that there's so many players up above. They find no way in which to be able to deny Dan the ability to get that diffuser onto the floor. Becomes a 3 versus 1 with 2 quick kills from Dan, and always Volts needs to find 2 more after that kill onto Dan. The Nitrocell desperately thrown, tries to maybe draw them out by getting onto that kid. Can he find a way to open up this wall, stick it long arm of the law? Always is watching. 2 in a row for Virtus.pro. Claim first in the group. They play SCARZ tomorrow, and they will definitely go into that as heavy. Swing from Lobin, though. Shuts down Dan. Trade towards top waiting from Always is quick. With the entry towards top east.
Opens up the angle, making a lot of noise. Can joystick get this first?
Oh, Dodes has no idea. He looks away. The timing is just paramount. 3 on 2. A little bit of drone information here for Pasha. But the diffuser's in a bad spot. Unsettly time as well on the side of W7M being on the defense, and 2 Nitrocells, Emmy. That's a powerful amount of utility remaining for the defenders heading into the final stages of this 11th round. Huge shot from Dash, no chance for Pasha, and arguably little chance for Shepard.
They pulled themselves back to the site as soon as they got themselves into the 3 versus 2. They did not risk anything. W7M, they headed home and they said, come and find us here. Dash gets the final kill secured.
This round as well with Pasha. Well, there is one that's just creeped up. He stares. Dash has timed Dan perfectly. He gave it a little bit of a glimpse. He looked at it temporarily, then looked back away, and with that shield no longer then protecting him, he loses his life. Always, though, in towards Talon. They're going for the fast hit. This could be a quick finish to this series as Dots will shut down Always. The kit's in a bad way, and so is VirtusPro with just over a minute left to try and salvage this round. It's down to Shepard, Pasha, and Joystick. There's one more required. But with that kill, you could look to slow things down just a little bit. Joystick up above, top floor. But obviously, again, the defuse is already within the site. W7M now can play off of that entirely. Their focus will be towards the site. Loban in Archives, the only one top floor for W7M. There's another through Joystick, but Loban gets the trade. He was lurking inside of Archives the entire time. Advantage once again to W7M. Loban still from above. Shuts down Shepard and Pasha. Now in that 1 versus 3 to see if he can make a moment here at SI and make it his moment. It will have to be a huge one. 25 seconds. As the ROU goes out, his chances are slim, marginal. Drop down inside a bathroom, the peak from Loban collects all 3 at